Welcome back. We're now setting the glow color from our glow color variable, which is driven from our data table. But we still have this post-process highlight color tinting, and so we're going to want to change this as well, depending on our data from our item rarity system. So let's get started on that. Now I'm back here in item.h. I'm going to scroll all the way up to our F item rarity table, and I'm going to add another item to our data table. Now this is going to be an int32, and it's going to be the custom depth stencil value. So let's name this variable custom depth stencil. Now I'm going to give this the same U property, edit anywhere, blueprint read write, and I'm going to go ahead and compile this, and we'll see this new item in our data table. Okay, we're back here in the editor, and now that we've compiled, our data table has a new item in each of our rows. Now, if you don't see this new custom depth stencil, you might have to close the editor and reopen it in order for it to refresh. But once you do, you should see custom depth stencil as a value for each of our rows. We're going to set this according to the values that we're using in our glow color. So to remind ourselves, let's go back to Game, Materials, Post-Process, and PP Highlight. Now here's our PP Highlight, and down here, these are the values, the custom depth stencil values that we're using to select our colors for the custom depth highlight. So Legendary is 254, Rare is 253, Uncommon is 252, Common is 251, and Damaged is 250. So they start off at 250 for Damaged, and they go up from there. So here in Item Rarity Data Table, I'm going to start with Damaged and give the custom depth stencil value 250. Now I'm going to select from this dropdown the Common row, and for this it's going to be 251. Next is Uncommon, and that's 252. Next is Rare, and that's 253. And finally we have Legendary, which is 254. So now our data table contains information for which custom depth stencil value we should use. So we can save that, and now we can go back into our C++ class. Now let's go to item.cpp, and we're going to go here into our onConstruction function. Here, after we check for our rarity row and get the information from it, we can also get that custom depth stencil value and use it. So we're going to check to see if our item mesh is valid, and our getter for the item mesh is called getItemMesh. So if that's a valid value, then we can use getItemMesh, and we can set the custom depth stencil value. And there's a function called setCustomDepthStencilValue, which we can use to do that. And what are we going to set it to? Well, we're going to get our rarity row, and rarity row has a variable called custom depth stencil. So here in the construction script, we're changing the custom depth stencil value for our mesh using data from the data table. Let's compile this and go back into the editor and see how it works. All right, we're back in the editor, and I'm going to select this first weapon here, and I'll go ahead and search for rarity, and we have our item rarity. I'm going to select damaged, and right off the bat you'll see that this changes to a more gray tint. If I select common, it changes it to green. If I select uncommon, it's now blue, and rare makes it purple, and legendary makes it gold. And you'll even see that not only the color tint, but the outline is also changing because it's referencing that stencil value. So now not only do we change that glow color from our glow material, we're also changing the custom depth stencil value in our post-process highlight material as well. So already we're starting to see the power of using data tables to drive our variables. So this is already making our lives a lot easier as developers. That's going to conclude this video. In the next video, we're going to leverage more power of data tables by creating a data table for our weapon type. So we can change weapon types, and this will allow us to change all sorts of properties on our weapon. We'll see you soon.